Hello and welcome to Realms Edge Gaming. In this episode we're going to take a look at the article that dropped today, which is all about the old world, and it's our first glimpse at the map of Bretonnia. So if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, and if you could drop me a comment below, that would be brilliant. I'd love to speak with you about your kind of thoughts and feelings about Warhammer returning to the world that was. So the article begins off with, if you thought we'd forgotten about the old world, then fear not, because we're back with another update about the very early development of the new game in an old setting. So just to highlight that kind of idea of the very early development, when Games Workshop first released the kind of initial hint that this was coming back, along with all those memes as well, they did say that the game itself was a long way off in the making, and that we had a substantial period of time in which to wait. They said that it wouldn't be like a year or two, it's more like I think 3 or 4, but it is on the way at least. And it kind of reiterates here that in the last article that we looked at the map of the Empire, as it was during the earlier era in which the action of the old world was set to take place, but this time around we're looking at the map of the neighbouring kingdom of Bretonnia across the Grey Mountains to the west. And we can see, the various kind of places that they're speaking of there. It says, amazing, right? But to save you poring over the map until your eyes pucker like corn kernels in the sun, we'll pick out some points of significant interest that our talented cartographers have added. So we've got here about new heraldry. Even though many of the Bretonnian cities, such as Paravon, Canals and Aquitaine, will no doubt be familiar to many, the names and the coats of arms of the lords who command each province are brand new. So we've got King Loren, the Orc Slayer, and it says here about how that name is steeped in Bretonnia's glorious history. But for someone to get a name like Orc Slayer, there has to be orcs. And the Greenskins have been a thorn in the side of Bretonnia long since before the legendary Duke Giles Le Breton first won favour of the Lady of the Lake and united the country under his rule. But the alarming regularity of their wars and destructive rampages is the primary reason why the northern lands of Bretonnia are so heavily defended, while mighty castles and walled cities are used to defend the people of Bretonnia. We can see here the Pale Sisters, the mountains, and all around it we've got the different kind of orc symbols. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can see that the area is heavily kind of infested by orcs. There are mentions about High Elf enclaves. I guess that we would know them now as the Lumineth Realm Lords, but back in the world that was, it was the High Elves of Ulthuan. And they were once the undisputed rulers of the seas, and they maintained a trade network of colonies and glittering port cities on every continent, from the Tower of the Rising Sun in the east to the Citadel of Dusk in the west. And the coast of Bretonnia was no exception, and the map features no fewer than 4 such enclaves. Tor Soleil sits on the northwest coastline, while Tor Bedouze can be found on the southwest, just north of the city of Brionne. Meanwhile, Tor Martel and the Silent Isle can be found on the islands just off Bretonnia's western coast. So we've had the Bretonnians mentioned, we've had the Orcs, we've had the High Elves. Who next will we be seeing? Well, it says here, we didn't even mention the Wood Elves. We'll leave you to take another look at the map for now, but remember to sign up for the newsletter, and we'll be sure to kind of find out any news about the old world as and when it arrives. So it kind of leaves me with the question to you guys: which races from the Warhammer Fantasy game are you most looking forward to seeing returning? We've already had talks of the kind of factions and races which we've mentioned. We've also seen the ones the Ice Queen from Kislev and the kind of peoples of Kislev in a previous article. But which ones are you most looking forward to seeing return? For me, I can't wait. I'm sure I'm not the only one here, but I'd love to see the return of the Tomb Kings. They were, I think, one of my favourite ones from the world that was, and I kind of was holding out that they would appear in AOS, but obviously that's not to be, and we have had the Yossi Arcbone Rupees instead. But there are a number of other factions that I for one would like to see return, and I'll probably do a video in the future kind of outlining those that I would like to see making a reappearance. Now, I do think that the Tomb Kings of Khemri will make a reappearance. A lot of when the old world was kind of mentioned originally, when they said that they were going to kind of bring it back, a lot of the memes were about Cetra. So that kind of really does hint strongly that we will see a reappearance of the Tomb Kings. But I have to say that, to see Bretonnia come back is absolutely fantastic as well. Again, looking forward to the Wood Elves. I like the kind of direction that the Sylvaneth have taken in AOS, but I would like to see the kind of Wanderers make a reappearance. I really liked how you had the actual elves fighting alongside the dryads and the tree spirits back in the world that was. And I'm really hopeful that when the old world does return, that they will bring with it some kind of rules so you can transfer them across to AOS 2. So you'll have the old factions that will have some kind of playable rules that we could transfer to AOS, so we can see some of those old armies make a reappearance and a return. So please drop a comment below, tell me what you think about the article that we've seen today, what you thought of the map. I thought the cartographers have done a wonderful job. Which races would you like to see make a reappearance, or is it something that doesn't particularly interest you? In a previous article, it did say that we're going to see some more previews back coming up in, I think, the 1st of January in the new year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those. Whether or not that's to do with the old world or just generally AOS and 40k remains to be seen, but I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be amazing. So please drop a comment below. I'm looking forward to speaking with you all as always, and we'll speak soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.